Alright guys, welcome to the Ishak Adventures channel. Today we are touring, I'm sure you've seen actually the videos before, but if you haven't, we were touring the Cairns Aquarium and I'm handling the reptile department. So while this intro is going, and probably through the next 2 minutes after it, so probably 3 minutes, you're going to be watching this adorable pig-nosed turtle swim through the water. And it's pretty majestic and awesome, so hope you enjoy. But like I said, we were touring the reptile department of the Cairns Aquarium. There's going to be a 3-part series for the reptile part and then a 3-part series for the fish part. Make sure you watch all the parts. We didn't show and go into detail on everything, so just watching these videos is not an excuse to not go. You should still definitely check this place out. It was awesome. We walked through it 3 different times and still saw new things, so go check it out. It was awesome. And then after these 3 parts, I will rate it out of 10. I haven't seen a ton of reptile departments in aquariums though, so take that for what it is. But yeah, we're going to get into the pig-nosed turtle right now. So, pig-nosed turtle. They can live 25 to 30 years old, which is pretty long for a reptile, pretty normal for a turtle. They can weigh up to 20 kilograms and can get up to 70 centimeters long. Again, pretty decently sized turtle, not huge, but not too small. I'm going to butcher the scientific name and the scientific name of all the animals I cover today, but I am going to try, and that's what matters. So the scientific name is Cairns insculpta. Yeah, that's what I think it is. They're also known as the pitted-shelled turtle or the fly river turtle. They're native to northern Australia and very related to soft-shell turtles. As you can see, they have a soft shell. It's not a hard shell that you would normally see on a turtle, as you'll see through some of the other turtles we cover today. Males, the way you can differentiate males and females is by their tail, except you kind of have to know how to do that, but males will have longer and narrower tails. Their feet are flippers, so they look like marine turtles, but they're actually the only freshwater turtle to have flippers as feet, which is really cool. They are obviously a freshwater turtle, but they're mostly aquatic. They don't spend a ton of time on land. They come up on land to lay their eggs and have those guys hatch. But yeah, they're active during the day and night, so they're diurnal and nocturnal. They just kind of sleep whenever. So if you're out looking for them, doesn't necessarily matter when you go as long as you kind of know what you're doing. They have great hearing, so they actually can hear a lot of different frequencies, which is surprising for a turtle. But yeah, great hearing. They're omnivores. They'll eat plant matter and insects and other fish and stuff like that. They'll even eat the figs off of trees, which is really cool. When they breed, they lay 7 to 26 eggs on average, and it usually takes between 65 to 107 days from conception to the eggs hatching, about 3 months, which is pretty cool. But unfortunately, they are endangered due to the illegal capture and use in the pet trade. From 2003 to 2013, they actually seized 80,000 of these pig-nosed turtles from the pet trade, and so yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. So if you were thinking of keeping one as a pet, it is a lot of work. It is a larger turtle. Do it. Do your research, but make sure you get a captive bred animal. Also, habitat loss and the introduction of non-native species like water buffaloes are hurting them. But we'll move on to the next animal, and this one's pretty cool as well. We have the common tree snake. What's cool about this one is they're usually a lot of the times green, but this one is blue, and occasionally in the wild they do come in this awesome blue color. It's weird to find a bright blue snake, so this was really cool to see. They're also known as the green tree snake or the yellow-bellied black snake, which is weird because they have like a greenish hint to them. They're also known as the grass snake, which is also weird because they're an arboreal snake. They're usually found in the trees. The scientific name is whatever that word is, punctillata. I'm not even going to try with that one anymore. They are a non-venomous snake. When you catch them, they might bite. They have pretty small teeth, but they're also going to musk, and you're going to be able to smell like their poop. That's just to try to, I'm sure it doesn't taste great. I personally have never tasted it, but it's just to ward off the predators with a bad smell and taste if they were to get grabbed. They have huge eyes compared to their head, so pay attention to the eyes of this snake. It is a gorgeous snake, but their eyes are huge. On average, they get about 1.2 meters, but one was recorded at 1.96 meters, which is pretty big. They are found in southeast Queensland. They're a diurnal snake species, and they're primarily eating frogs and skinks, they're opportunistic. Most snakes are. They'll eat what they can find, but they're mostly feeding on the frogs and skinks, and they're very common in Brisbane, and that's how they got their name, the common tree snake. Now we're going to move on to the white-lipped tree frog. I just did a whole video on white-lipped tree frogs, so you can go check that out. I won't go into too much detail, but what's cool about this, if you watch the other video, it was green. They also can be brown depending on their habitat. Personally, I think this enclosure needs a little bit more foliage, and maybe that frog would be green, but it is cool to see just that different color of a white-lipped tree frog. Right after that, we have a saltwater crocodile. I'm not going to go too in-depth on saltwater crocodiles because I kind of want to do a whole video of one we find in the wild, obviously respecting their space and being safe, so I'm going to save that for another time. But these are two saltwater crocodiles, or salties. They are the largest species of crocodile, and all I'm going to say after this is just be croc-wise. If you're out and you see signs that say don't get in the water because there might be crocodiles, don't get in the water. You don't stand the chance from a saltwater crocodile. I've even heard stories of people being bit by babies and they have nerve damage. So it's not an animal to mess around with. Be safe. Yeah, that's what I got on saltwater crocodiles. Well, next we have the Keelback Snake, also known as the freshwater snake or a swamp tiger. Their scientific name is Tropodonophis mauri, I think is how you would say that. Again, you can look up the scientific names and see what I'm working with. They're not super easy. And we have a couple at Hartley's that I clean every once in a while, and when you grab them, they freak out. And what they'll do is they don't bite. I haven't been bit by them, but they'll mock bite. They'll just slam their heads into your fingers without opening their mouth, just trying to get you to let go. And the first couple times, it worked. They also musk. I usually don't have a problem with snake musk. Part of me kind of enjoys it. It's like, oh yeah, we're doing this. But this snake musk is the worst. It smells awful. And that's going to be their defensive mechanism. They get about 60 to 80 centimeters, so a foot and a half, maybe 2 feet. They're found in southeast Queensland, and they're feeding on frogs, lizards, and sometimes they'll actually fish in tadpoles. They're actually known to sneak into people's ponds in their backyards and prey on the freshwater fish they have there, which is pretty cool. Or pretty sad, depending on how you look at it. I'm sure Peyton wouldn't love his freshwater fish being eaten by a snake, but I think it's cool that they're smart enough to find people's ponds and feed on their fish. It's pretty easy food. All right, we have two more species, and they're going to be turtles. So we have this turtle, which is the oblong turtle, or they're also known as the snake-necked turtles, or the scientific name, Chelodina colile, I think is how you would say that. Like, I'm never going to give up on the scientific names because I need to learn them. But they are found in Perth and in the southwest of Western Australia. They live in rivers and lakes, and they actually prefer slow-moving water. Now, this is one of the coolest facts I've ever learned about a turtle. They use echolocation to hunt. So they'll emit loud clicks, and based on where it bounces off, they'll follow that and go and find their food. Now, you may be wondering what that long neck is for. It's actually used to strike. That's also why they got the name. I'm pretty sure that's why they got the name the snake-necked turtle, other than the fact that their neck is super long like a snake. They use it to strike and capture their food quickly. Hatchlings, they will feed on the mosquito larvae, so it's a good turtle to have around. They can eat up to 70 mosquito larvae a day as a hatchling, which means 70 less mosquitoes. But yeah, when they hatch out, they're actually the size of a 20-cent Australian coin, or for the Americans watching, it's about this, a little bit bigger than a quarter. So pretty small when they hatch out, and then they get to that size with that huge long neck. I really want to find a baby just so I can see what that neck looks like on a baby turtle. The last animal we're going to cover today is the red-bellied short-necked turtle. The common name is the pink-bellied side-necked turtle, or the Giardini river turtle. The scientific name is Imidura subglobosa. That is the easiest scientific name we've had so far. I'm proud of myself for saying it correctly. They're found in northern Queensland. They're also an omnivore, and they're usually pregnant for 2 to 4 months. So, that's going to wrap up part 1 of the reptile section at the Cairns Aquarium. I hope you enjoyed this. Definitely come back for the next video in a couple days for part 2 and then for part 3 because we're just getting started here. And yeah, I definitely enjoyed part 1 of their reptile exhibit. A lot of cool turtles, a lot of cool stuff. And I've never seen a blue common tree snake, so that was definitely a treat. But thanks for watching. I'll see you again whenever the second part comes out. Boy.